Hey y'all, it's Chrissy from Teadoddles. It's time for another Saturday stitch. Today we're going to cover the tortoise shell stitch, and I'll be showing you as I continue along in the mystery crochet along scarf. The pattern details for the mystery crochet along scarf are always listed down below in the description box, because in the tutorial videos I will just show the new stitch. Usually they have about 2 rows you have to do and repeat, and then you can look down in the comments for how many of those to do and how to incorporate the spacer row of double crochet. All right, so now we'll do, to start off, we'll chain 1. The original, I will also have the number of stitches you need to chain if you're just doing this stitch only in a pattern. For this stitch, the tortoise shell stitch, you need multiples of 5 plus 2 stitches. And I will have extra stitches on the ends because I'm doing a bunch of stitches that have a lot of different stitch count starters. So, but we'll chain 1, turn, and we'll single crochet into the next 2 stitches, and then we'll chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll skip 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, and single crochet in the 5th stitch. So that is what we're going to repeat all across here till we get to the end, is just chaining 5 and then skipping 4 and crocheting, single crochet in that 5th chain from the hook. All right, so I'm going to continue my stitches and I'll be right back to show you what to do at the end and set up the next row. Okay, I'm all the way to the other end of my work, and I put in my last single crochet after skipping 4 stitches, and now I have 2 stitches left at this end, so I'm going to single crochet into my last stitch and the last chain on the end, the starting chain, which represents a stitch. All right, and now we are going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and turn. That 4 stitch count represents a treble crochet, and then we're going to put a treble crochet in the next 2 single crochets. So treble crochet is yarn over twice, insert into the stitch, pull loops through 3 times, so it's just one more time compared to a double crochet. So wrap over twice and pull up a stitch just as a refresher of a treble crochet. And now we're going to put into the chain 5 space, we're going to put a treble crochet, a double crochet, a picket, double crochet, treble crochet. Okay, but the picket will have a stitch count and how you do the picket in the pattern versus just saying picket, because pickets can be different. It's like a picket. I think some pickets are a lot shorter, but that's what I'm calling it. All right, so we're going to put a treble crochet, double crochet in the chain 5 space. Then I'm going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to slip stitch into the first chain. So 1, 2, 3, 4 back, and I'll put a slip stitch here. So this can be a little tricky, so I like to hold right there at that base so I can make sure that that is a, then I'll hold again once I pull it through the slip stitch. That's what works for me to make sure that it's not too loose, and that it makes a bit of a snug fit. I'm kind of an average crocheter. I don't crochet very tight, but I like certain stitches to hold, and sometimes I find it easier if I hold it in certain areas to do that. So now we'll do double crochet and a triple crochet or treble crochet. And that all goes into our chain 5 space. So treble, double, picket, double, treble. Okay, and then we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and then we'll repeat all of that again in all of the chain 5 spaces across with a chain 2 in between. And if you prefer your stitch to not move or something, I like it that way. You can adjust it to kind of gap it out, but some people like to put it in the stitches, especially when you're doing something like this, because to keep the stitches in a certain space. They're not going to move around a lot. Once you wash it, it'll kind of grip on there pretty good. But if you prefer to put it into the stitch versus around the stitch, that works as well. So treble, double, 1, 2, 3, 4, slip stitch in that first stitch, and make sure your yarn is around to the front of your work when you do this. There we go, so that your picket is a little straighter. I don't think pickets get too straight. They're kind of squinchy, if that's a word. Squinchy stitches. So there it is again. And then we chain 2 and we will repeat all the way to the last chain 5 space. So I'll be back in a moment and show you what to do at the end. Okay, I've done all of my little stitches. I guess this would be the tortoiseshell part. I don't know. I'm not sure why they call this a tortoiseshell, because when I think about tortoiseshell, I think about turtles and their shells. I suppose it's reminiscent of that. I guess this kind of looks like a turtle to me with a little head. I don't know. Who knows why things get their name. But now we're all the way into the end. We got 2 stitches left, and we're going to do a treble crochet in each of those stitches. All right. And now we're ready to go on to our next row, which will be very similar to the first row we did. We'll chain 1. We're going to turn our work, single crochet in the first 2 treble crochets, chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, single crochet in this chain 2 space that's between each of these little sets. Okay, and that's all we're going to do across the whole thing to the other end. Is chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and single crochet into the chain 2 space. All right, so I will do that and I'll come back and we'll talk about how many of these rows we got to do, because that's our basic repeat. This set into the chain 5s and then the chain 5s across, so we can have our next chain 5s to do our next set. All right. Okay, I've done my chain 5 single crochet across, and once you get to that, you single crochet in that last chain 2 space, you're going to chain 5 once more, and then you will just single crochet in the last 3 trebles, making sure it's the 3 on the end and not the last one in our little set there. Okay, so we will single crochet into the last 3 stitches on the end, and that is our repeat. So we'll do the next row just like we did this row, and we will continue up for, let's see, hold on one second. Okay, I was just doing a little measuring because I'm aiming for each section to be approximately 4 inches, including the spacer row. So this repeat is about 1.5 inches. So that means we will do it, we'll repeat this row at least one more time, and then probably have, that should give us to 3 inches. So we may have to do this one 3 times. But I'll have it listed in the the description box below how many times to repeat it for the scarf if you're doing the scarf. I hope y'all are enjoying these tutorials, and if you happen to be making the scarf along with me, you can put it in my Facebook group, Teadoddles Makers, which is listed down below, or you can also tag me on Instagram. Just hashtag Teadoddles. I look at it occasionally, and hopefully I will see it. I wish they had notifications for that. They don't really. Well, yeah, they do. If you mention me it does give me a notification for that. I wasn't thinking about that, but if you'd like to share what you're doing, if you're following along, I'd love to see it. So until next Saturday, y'all remember to have a life lived creatively, and I will see you in the next video.